Alright guys, time is now. We're going to check out and see how bad this engine really is. I'm glad I didn't actually just shatter the oil pan, because that would have been hilarious. I started taking out some of the bolts before I went and grabbed the camera. I pod the car. I was doing other stuff out here and I was like, I should start pulling this apart. So I've just started. Like the bolts are, like some of the bolts are out. They're all cracked, so I'm just going to loosen them off and we'll discover how bad it is inside. Moment of truth. Oil pan's kind of sludgy looking, but it did sit for quite a while in my yard too, untouched. It looks like the drain plug has been helicoiled. At least one at one point in its life, so I'll get that cleaned up properly, but it's not sticking up on the top, just along the bottom, so kind of sludgy. But like I said, it's been sitting a few years in my yard too, so put that there. Pop the I don't plan on reusing the gasket. I just wanted to make sure it came off. I'm guessing it has been off at least once in its life because there seems to be extra gasket material here. But it may have just been this front cover was off at one point. So that's garbage. It's a metal gasket, probably could be reused, but would you? There is a tiny, there we go. Where'd it go? There are some tiny little metal flakes that are on the screen of the oil pickup. That's just dirt. Again, nothing major concern. And not a whole lot in there, so I might be able to reuse the oil pickups. That's a bonus. Good cleaning. I'm going to bump into that a few times, aren't I? Okay. Move this there so it's out of my way. I've never torn one of these engines down before, but from what I know about working on Intrepids and LHs and stuff. Oh, God. It's 10 mil and 13 mil. So if you ever buy one, it'll be a 10 mil or a 13 mil. And you can, the occasional 15 mil. And I swear you could rebuild the entire car. Now, I'm hoping that these aren't popping and that they're just letting go. No, they're... because these go into the main bearing caps. So to have to drill those out would be an absolute pain in the... It's not too bad. I'll need to do some research. They're probably a torque to yield bolt. I know I should really have a cleaner rag for doing this, but this engine, it's a toss-up if this engine's getting rebuilt or not. Despite all the hardware is just getting, all bottom end hardware is just going in there. And then anything that needs to be replaced, that gets replaced. I know the oil pan bolts won't, because they're definitely a multiple use. These might be a one-time use. Bolt. Like they might be a torque to yield, so when they've been removed, that might be it. Yep, so I had no signs of physical damages yet. Once we get this off, we can actually see the crank, and I will say it was spinning nicely with just like, even by hand, when I was lifting it to put it onto the truck, I lifted and the crank pulley spun like nothing on me. So far, hard parts are decent enough shape and can be reused. These bolts, I want to bet they're torque to yield, so they're all garbage. Again, nothing... It's grimy, but there's nothing on here that's screaming out, oh god, look out. It also acts like as a windage tray here, so... As you can see, it spins, it turns over nice, so. Now, see, that's a 15. I think, because I don't want them, I don't know if I'll be reusing the pistons. It's not even a 15, it's a 14. I lied. There is actually a... You need an entire metric set. You should be good to go. I'm just going to take this back in case it's not a 14. I just want to clean this off. This one's really dark, so I want to bet that's one that... Let's take a look at this guy, because this one's really black. Aha. Come on. So, that's not a good sign. I think we found why it was making noise. Cylinder number, I don't even know. There's markings on this engine to show that it was replaced at some point. So it was pulled out. So I don't know. So I can only assume it's a 2000 3.2 because that's what I pulled it out of. Gold parts car out in the yard. But there's markings on this side, 4343. It says B. I have another really black one back here. I stink. Yep. That'll be it for now for teardown, because I'm going to have to see if I get I don't think I've got a 14 mil in a 1/2 inch, and that's what I'm going to need to break those loose. So, we know what it was. Spun bearings on, I want to say, no, that's 5 or 6 and 3 or 4. I just don't know which. Cylinder 6 and cylinder 3. Alright guys, that is the first episode of the 3.2 teardown and rebuild. Seeing as how it's just, I'll have to see how bad the crank is. I don't see how badly it's worn there. I can probably throw bearings at it and rebuild it, and it's good to go. But we'll see. I'll do the rest of the teardown and see what else is there, because I know the 4-liter crank, it requires some engine, like the block needs to be modified to fit the 4-liter crank, so that's I'll see what happens. I'll probably be, between now and the next episode, I'll probably pull off like this extra auxiliary stuff, like the thermostat housing, and that won't get reused because it's, well, I might. I'll clean it up, but it's really corroded and eaten. I'll get this pulled off and see about getting the crank pulley pulled off, and I'll get the timing belt tensioner pulled off and that kind of fun stuff. So, in the meantime, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
To say goodbye.